Wake your ass up
or take a damn nap.
And we're the three best friends that anybody could have.
It's time.
Sean, you were twerking. That's going to happen.
Murph, don't be a dick all your life.
It's one of the more fun podcasts I've ever done.
Hey, I tell you what, if you're not talking about sports in the man cave, I bet not say you not a bed.
That's it.
Number 8, Jaylon Reeves, in loving memory of his parents, Chris and Jason Reeves.
Tell me a little bit about what your mom was like.
Outgoing, loud, very sweet.
Your dad obviously had the football background. What was his personality?
Goofy, really goofy. Made jokes all the time. Loved football.
Jaylon Reeves, this is a unique episode for me because this is family. This is home. This is a very special story here. So episode 102 with the Jaylon Reeves, the quarterback at Pflugerville High School. He's like a little brother, maybe the son I never had. I don't know if he'd claim me, but Jaylon, welcome to Stories Inside the Man Cave. This has got to be something you put on your resume in the future, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, before we get going with this episode that I have really thought about with you for quite some time, I got to give a shout out to our latest partner, that being Farmhouse Delivery here in Austin, Texas. They source out to Texas farms and ranches for organic produce and organic meats. And you go to their website, farmhousedelivery.com, and then for your first order, and it's maybe past the deadline for Thanksgiving because that's coming up here in a few days, but use the promo code MANCAVE for 20% off of your first order. And of course, a big shout out to our sponsors, that being Jim Saxon State Farm Insurance Agency and Cosmic Coffee and Beer Garden, and OCN, Our Community Now, which is a syndicated platform across the country that's helping us spread stories inside the man cave. Now, Jaylon, I'm going to need your help on this. And where do we begin with this story? All I can say is that this has been a year of learning for the both of us. Mm-hmm. We've dealt with loss, and we've all dealt with this pandemic and COVID-19, but uniquely for you, because you are much closer to the situation. Your father, my best friend, and your mother as well, succumbed to COVID-19 4 days apart. And since that happened, and we've all struggled with a lot of things, how has it been for you? Because I'm not going to put words into your mouth. I've just tried to be my best to support you and you and Kyra, your sister, as well.
It's been really rough, like depression and stuff. I just kept pushing every single day, because if you can't hold yourself down and be like sad and depressed all the time, because you got to move forward sometimes, you can't bring them back. That's how I got through it. And knowing that they're with me is like, I'm a better person because of that.
I love to hear that, because I think, and what I wanted to tell you before, when we were talking about this episode, was the fact that, that's when we started this podcast. We wanted to bring on inspirational people, obviously some humor and some good stories from a guest, but we want to lift up people, because we've been through a lot the last 18, 19 months.
A lot. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people struggle with depression, and I don't know why it's so taboo, but to lose both of your parents, I lost my father at a young age, 13, but that's your foundation, man. And what do you tell the people who are going through something as traumatic or similar to that? You had football and a great support system, but what do you tell those? How do you cope with it? And it's not going to happen overnight.
It's not going to happen overnight. Just keep pushing. Just keep going. Find something like that takes your mind off things, like something to do, like school. You can go outside, like run, listen to music, hang out with your friends or something to get your mind off things. So if you're just sitting by yourself crying, it's gonna get worse and worse, and then bad thoughts start coming in, and then just not good at all. But
you mentioned, I know at the funeral it was tough for all of us, and that's what that is for. But I noticed, I try to deliver humor. You and your sister Kyra really touched a lot of people. I don't know if you are aware of that because it was broadcast over the internet. I fielded a lot of calls. I shielded you guys from a lot of things that I was told. I didn't know my place, except to be a positive for you guys. And I try to protect your aunt and your grandparents from things that were all positive. But I think you felt the presence, the strength from all these people. Outpouring of support from across this country. But for you and for Kyra at the University of Missouri playing soccer, you're the quarterback of the Pflugerville Panthers. That's your passion. You and your dad shared that bond, and your mom was perhaps the most loudest, proudest fan. Could you imagine going through all this without your brothers on the football program at Pflugerville?
No, not at all. They're the main reason why I'm like still like up, happy all the time. Like, cause I'm always with them. I'm with them every single day. They're like my blood brothers, basically. Yeah. Because I go there at 5:30 a.m. and then we see each other the whole day, and then we'll hang out after school too. So it's basically like they're just with me. And ever since my mom passed, all my friends has been there for me. Ever since, like every single day, it hasn't been a day that I haven't talked to like my friends. That's like it's keeping me sane mostly.
And that, I've noticed that as well. And you and your aunt, your aunt and I Beverly have spoken a lot, and I know Oakman, the running back, he's one of your tightest, closest on the team, right? I just noticed all those guys, they're around you 100% of the time, right?
Yeah, 100% all the time. EJ, he's been with me my whole life. Ever since like Little League, when I was playing Taifa for the Hawks, I played with him. We went to the same elementary, grew up in middle school, and we gone to high school together. So I've known him my whole life, so it's just somebody I trust like dearly and I care about.
That's a beautiful thing. It really is. For those who don't have any ties to this story or are not aware of all this, I guess what would you want people to gain out of this, what you have going through and what you're going to continue to go through the rest of your life? I could tell my side and how I handle it. We're all going to make choices, but let's just say somebody, we have viewers in Colorado that I know of, in Florida, Ohio. What have you gained most that you didn't think from this, that you've gained a new perspective on life from?
Well, I've gained a lot. Like I've matured a lot from like last year, a whole bunch. And like knowing that like little kids and like people like the younger classes and stuff from middle school, they go and see the games. They go and see the story, like it's on TV and stuff, like in the papers. And just them knowing, because like I can see the little like freshmen and stuff, they'll be like following me and ask me to go to the field with them and stuff, ask me to hang around with them because I'm like an inspiration to them, it feels like. And like they just look up to me, and because like I'm the QB, and just knowing how good like we've been doing this season is like, my honor. But hold on, I'm gonna put my mic on me. I got to say something.
Okay,
BB, I'm on a podcast with Sean right now. It's really just made me grow as a person, knowing that everybody like looks up to me and like always like has it, like they see my story, and so like it makes them move like different, like in their own way.
And that's the most positive piece that I've heard, because I have personally stepped back, but every time you post something on Instagram or Beverly, your aunt, and I talk, and she mentions things to me, that's how I've gained some positivity, because, I've struggled my own way through this. But you guys have always known that I've been there in some form or fashion, but I've kind of been hands off because it's tough and it's a struggle. I've had my own moments where I thought I was going to just crumble. Yeah. But I look at those pictures a lot. I look at your faces. I see you on the field. I see Kyra, her pictures, and on social media. Now, that's one thing I've got to ask you. If anyone need some words of advice or wisdom, would you be okay if they could tweet you or direct message you on how they can gain the strength that maybe you have throughout all this?
Yeah, all the time. Just if anybody like needs anything, they can just text me. Like,
Okay.
just
Yeah, and there's his Twitter at Reeves Jaylon, Jaylon. This is some amazing kids, and it's not because I'm biased. These are some amazing young people who are going to do and achieve big things. They have a greater perspective on life. And, you know, the one topic here is dealing with grief, the importance of team. We mentioned that. Do you have a better vision of yourself now because you mentioned where you will be here, let's say in 5 to 10 years? I mean, do you have a better vision because you've had to grow up faster than maybe you thought you would have?
Yeah, I have a vision for myself. Yeah, I'm focused on school right now. I'm trying to get into like college for like football. I'm trying to get my like life going.
Yeah,
just looking like into the future and trying to like better myself and like see where I'm going to be and how it affects like everybody around me. I'm just trying to grow with like who I've been around.
Yeah, and that's what have you thought? And I know football is. You're about to take the next step in that football career. Have you thought about after it, as when you grow up like me, what would you want to be doing professionally as a career after football?
I haven't put that much thought into it because it's been a while, but just live the right way, I guess.
Right.
The right way I can.
And you're doing that right now. And, you know, I don't know if you know this, but anyone who's been under center or in your case in the shotgun constantly in this modern spread offenses, quarterbacks are natural born leaders. You've been a QB for quite some time. What is it like? Because not everyone can play that position and be that leader, whether you be vocal, whether you show an example, because you are looked upon. They're the face of the program. And quarterbacks receive too much criticism, and would you say too much praise sometimes?
Yeah, a little bit too much praise when you're doing it. kind of like boost your head, but you just gotta stay level headed. And then if like it's okay for like for everybody to like hype you up and stuff, but like don't let it get to you. Because if it gets to you, then you're gonna start going off like momentum. Your momentum's gonna go down.
Well, I want to mention to some people, it's been a trying season because you guys started off so well, but then that district is a beast.
Yeah,
you guys are a District 11 5A Division I. It seems like everybody's pretty good. Everybody's
good. Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm not going to go as far as say the SEC of high school football, but it's pretty salty. I mean, what's it like playing in that division or that district every week?
Man, it's a challenge every single week. It's like there's no like easy games where you just like, oh, we're gonna go out there and just destroy them. Like everybody puts up a fight, and it's like you just got to keep going each week. It's very difficult. Like taking hard hits from like people. If you get behind the line, like when we played against like Cedar Park and stuff, and like just seeing all the big D linemen and stuff coming up, it was like, dang, they're huge and stuff. And it's like they hit hard too.
Yeah.
It's just, well, you gotta compete too. That's all I gotta like. That's why I tell my like players, it don't matter how big you are, just compete. Like if we're playing like some team like that's number one in the state, just compete. It don't matter. Just play. Yeah. Like don't think. Like when I'm out there on the field, I don't think, because thinking is gonna mess you up and it's gonna start getting you nervous. So as long as you just play and do you and like look like only have one goal that whole game is win, and then it will go the way you want it to. Yeah,
and you did. And there were, I think, collectively maybe 3 games I think you missed this year for an injury. And so is it 3 or 4 you missed?
It was 2. I missed 2.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I don't know where I got 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I guess to me it felt longer just because I had a more vested interest in it.
Yeah. But I was out because of my chest the last 2 games. That was the only 2 games I missed. It was Georgetown and Hendrickson.
Right.
But before, when I hurt my leg against Anderson, I still played on it against like Leander and throughout the season.
That's the one I'm thinking of, and
Yeah.
we weren't sure if you were going to play, but you did, and that should, for anyone watching this right now, that should provide the info you all need to know about him, because he was had the option of not playing, but he did for love of the game and for his teammates / brothers. But here's Jaylon's stats for this year as a quarterback. And keep in mind, Pflugerville has a tremendous amount of athletes and options to spread the ball around to. 65 completions on 146 attempts for 1,007 yards, 10 TDs, and he's what you call a dual threat QB. 82 carries, 468 yards, and 8 touchdowns. He's a 5'10", 175 athlete who currently has an offer on the table from Southwest Assemblies of God University, which a lot of people in Texas, it's an NAIA school in Waxahachie. People call SWAGOO. Is that, and I know you're proud of that offer, but are you leaning towards that university, or do you think that you're going to play out the recruiting process before you make a decision, maybe wait until February?
I'm going to play out the recruiting process, like just get as many offers as I can.
Right. And that's the best. And what would you, like, I know the recruiting process is you're living it right now, but what would you tell any sophomore, even a junior, on what they should do that maybe you would have liked to have changed looking back at how, because the recruiting is such a competitive game in itself?
Yeah. I would tell like a sophomore, like a freshman that's coming in to like start working from right there, like be in the weight room every single day and just be on the field and make a Twitter.
Yeah.
And as long as you're good in school and stuff, like if you're good in school and you have like a good GPA, then you'll do good throughout high school. Just focus on your grades from freshman year throughout high school.
No, that's sage advice.
Hey,
I want to go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I'm good.
Oh, okay. I want to transition because I think you obviously root for your district, man, but let's transfer to this. That was a little aggressive, a little extreme, but Texas high school football playoffs, pretty big deal to all of us in this state. You faced some really good teams. Cedar Park still alive from your district.
Yeah.
Who have you played, including Cedar Park? Who do you see really making that run to Jerry World, which is Jerry World's the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, to those watching or listening, where the state championship games are held?
In like my district or like overall?
Overall that you know a lot about, who are still alive.
From my district, Cedar Park, they have a good chance. They're playing a really good team this next week. Paytown, I think.
Katy? Are they at a Katy?
I think so.
I'm not sure. They're newer to me.
Yeah, they played Paytown, some school, but they just beat Manor last week.
Wow.
But it should be a good game. And like other, like out of my district, like of course Westlake.
Yeah.
It's like this all around good. So I feel like they'll make it deep in playoffs, go to at least the state championship. Like they won twice already these past
years. They're going for that three-peat.
Yeah, they're gonna go because they got a good QB and this good coaching and a good team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is Todd Dodge's final. This is his he's riding off into the sunset. He's retiring, and this will be his last run. I mean, man, think about that. You're in that position, and you think you're pretty positive you have a good chance of retiring by winning a state championship. Man, that's like a storybook.
Mm-hmm.
It's unreal.
He's I don't really know anything much about Westlake.
Yeah.
But from what I hear, it's a really good school and they have really good coaching.
It's tremendous. I mean, I don't even know where to begin, but I'm very happy for Todd and everyone in the Westlake community. Now, I forgot are there any teams still alive that you faced in non-district? Because I think you had 3 non-district opponents.
Mm-hmm. Weiss just lost this week to Manville. Yeah. And that was like one team that I thought was going to go for.
Did too.
Manville is a really good team, and like a really good team. But Cedar Park, I feel like they have a chance if they keep playing good.
I do too. That's a program that has been very consistent over 10 or 15 years. Jaylon, here's the big deal. Here's the highlight of the first segment. We've been told from all of our guests some legendary, classic, hilarious, some stories that I will live with me and everyone who was on this podcast forever. The Man Cave story, sponsored by Jim Saxon State Farm Insurance Agency. Is there a man cave story that you like to share that you love telling your boys or maybe your family, that you love sharing, that maybe nobody really knows about, that you always circle back and laugh about, or you love telling?
A man cave story?
Yeah.
I'm not really a storyteller. I just live by the moment. I just go day by day. I don't really have any stories like that.
Hey, very, very similar to your dad.
Yeah.
Except he had some pretty funny moments. He would, as you all know, he had fun at other people's expenses.
Yes, he liked bothering people for him to like have fun playing pranks and stuff.
I think that would be. I just, why did it dawn on me just now?
Yeah.
Tell me a good, funny story, maybe about your dad, or maybe involving your mom and dad that you love talking about.
I have a lot of stories, actually.
You can pick two, because I'm here all day if that's who you're going to talk about.
I'm trying to figure out one that's like I can say. Oh yeah, there was one time. I'm just gonna tell this one. It's kind of like nasty, but we had a plane ride. It was like, I think it was like 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 3 hour plane ride. And like my dad used to eat boiled eggs and stuff, and he used to make his like stomach hurt. So as soon as we got on the plane, he had held it all the way till we got on the plane, and then he had like tooted. And then everybody like smelt it, and then everybody was like looking around like who did it. And he was looking around too. And he tried to look at me like I did it. So it was my mom, some stories with her. I remember this is a story I tell a lot about my mom. Like, you probably know about it. When my mom was like taking my dog on a walk, and then he had boo-boo on her foot in front of like he was our neighbors. Yeah, it was our neighbors. He had boo in front of her. And it was just like embarrassing. My mom was like mad at Max, but he learned his lesson from that though.
The funny thing is, I can visualize both of those. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you some story. Let me tell you, I don't have enough time, but the one you told about your dad, I'm almost positive that he was proud of that egg story. Oh, he was proud.
Yeah.
And he was proud that he blamed it on somebody else.
Yeah, he always blaming it on somebody else. Like if he ever does that in public, he'll act like he didn't do it. Like we'll ask him, like, did you do it? And he'll be like, no. Or he won't say anything. He'll just look like he didn't do anything.
Yeah, just very innocent. Let me tell you the story about when we were at Anderson High School, senior year. We're sitting in a economics class. Sitting in and some friends of ours. It was Chris Williams, Jason Holter, and David Bowers. We're all sitting in a 4 or 5 desks together. Jason comes in with a sandwich bag from some chicken your grandma had baked the night before with chicken bones, bone marrow, and chicken grease. We had no idea what it was, and just put it in a sandwich bag and threw it on my desk. And then put another bag on Jason Holter's desk, and Jason Holter thought it was dog poo. And we had no idea what it was, and Jason just sitting there, he lived for everyone's reaction.
Yeah.
And just be the prankster. And you talk about, okay, so you said your mom had Max boo-boo on her shoe. Jason, when we were in high school, came over to my house when we were in high school at my mom's front yard. He had some UT warm-ups on it. He had no idea that he had walked through a pile of dog poop. We went to a Texas basketball game at the Irwin Center. I was like, man, what is that? For 2.5 hours, your dad had it all on the side of his warm-up pants to this day, and he denies
Like
it.
the bottom of them?
Right on the side, and if you really looked hard enough, you could have seen it.
Yeah, you can smell it.
I can smell it, and he blamed it on me.
No, that's something you would do.
We need to write a book, you and I, just together for some of these stories, and I promise you they would be endless, at least 12 chapters.
Yeah. A lot.
We're going to take a quick break, and on the other side, I would love to hear your opinion and some insight, being a young football talent, on the Longhorns and the state of college football, if you'd like. Are you good with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people can learn from maybe your generation on how things really are, and it's not really reality, so to speak. Let's do it. We'll discuss college football and the Longhorns on the other side of this break. For all of your insurance needs, look no further than our primary sponsor, Jim Saxton State Farm Insurance Agency. The ATX OG has been insuring Austin for over 3 decades. And get this, Jim Saxton is a Longhorn legacy. He is the son of the late, great James Saxton, who was a Heisman finalist. Be sure to give him a call, or better yet, visit his website, saxtoninsurance.com, and tell him that the stories inside the Man Cave Boys recommended you. I'm excited to announce Stories Inside the Man Cave podcast has partnered with an Austin, Texas-based farm-to-table delivery company. Farmhouse Delivery is a dirt-to-doorstep service specializing in organic produce and organic meats. Their mission is to connect communities across Texas with their land, making local food more accessible. And Farmhouse Delivery is partnered with over 200 Texas farmers and ranchers. From meal kits to produce boxes, Farmhouse Delivery is also a great idea for get-togethers with family and friends. Check out this endorsement from a Farmhouse Delivery customer. I barely need to go to the grocery store anymore. Now, how do you get your first order from Farmhouse Delivery started? Well, visit their website, farmhousedelivery.com. Select your items and then finalize your cart list, and then enter the promo code MANCAVE for 20% off of your first order. All right, segment 2. The Jaylon Reeves, the son of the late Jason and Kyra Reeves. This young man is like family to me, and we were just talking about his story, obviously, in segment 1. If you would like to reach out to him, here's his Twitter handle, at Reeves Jaylon. Jay, I have to ask you, it's in my lifetime, Texas football, I can only recall 2 seasons similar to this. They're now on a 6-game losing streak. Mm-hmm. First-year head coach Steve Sarkisian. Before we roll the soundbite to Coach Sark, what would you, from your perspective as a player at Pflugerville High School and being a recruited talent, is it as bad as it seems, or is it simply a matter of a transition to an entirely new scheme offensively and defensively?
It's a transition because they have a lot of new players that's coming up that are young and stuff, and a whole new coaching staff. So it's like it's a transition. It is like they're rebuilding and just trying to, like, what's the word for it? Develop their players more. This is like a developing year for them, I feel like.
Did you think when they were 4-1 and they had this pattern of big leads, double-digit leads, and then losing them in the second half, as a player, when you have a big lead at halftime and then you fall apart, so to speak, in the second half, what does that usually mean?
that they gave up. They thought they had to win already. That's what we did when we had like big leads. We thought we had to win. We gave up. Just started like relaxing. We just let go a little bit.
Yeah, and to me, it reflects that there's just not enough depth, quality depth.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday, Texas went up to West Virginia. They needed to win the last 2 games at West Virginia and at home against Kansas State the day after Thanksgiving to reach bowl eligibility. Instead, they lost to West Virginia 31-23. And this is what Coach Sark had to say after that game. Texas did fight back, but now 7th loss of the year. There will be no bowl game this year.
And I feel for those guys because they battle, they compete. I say it all the time. They come to work every day. They give us what they got. And we just haven't broken through yet. And that's the biggest frustrating part. In every game, it seems like there's a different story to tell of why that didn't happen, And I hate it for the guys because they do bring it every day and they compete. I'm proud of them. I told them that because they could have folded the tent today, and they didn't. And they battled their way back, and they gave themselves a chance to be in that game late. Unfortunately, we just couldn't make the plays to do that.
Now, Jay, I hate to use the term rock bottom as it said. I'm of the belief, and you can agree or disagree, obviously, but I definitely want your valued opinion. When you are in a rebuild mode, so to speak, this is the 3rd defensive coordinator this group of guys have had in 3 years. And
that's crazy.
Do you have to, when you're rebuilding, do you honestly believe you have to? I'm of the belief you have to hit rock bottom before you go back up in the whole learning and comprehension of it all.
Yeah, I feel like you have to start over, like start fresh, like. Because you said they had 3 different defensive coordinators in 3 years?
Yeah, the last 3 different coordinator.
Yeah, I'll go with what you say. Start from rock bottom. Yeah, because you're going to have – something's not working. Something's not going the right way.
I mean, let's say the last game's Friday morning against Kansas State. Is that enough time to them as a player to say this is it for you guys this season? Well, you think something magically could turn around where they finish this year with that 5th win, possibly?
They come out and dedicate themselves to that game. Then I feel like they will win.
Yeah.
Just come out with spirit that they're going to win. Like, come out there saying no doubt that they're going to lose or nothing. Just go out there and win.
Especially being at home. Yeah, that'll be a morning start. The day after Thanksgiving, after everyone wakes up from the food coma. And Kansas State, and we'll talk about this on the next podcast. You're probably familiar with him, the running back Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce. I don't know him, but I heard of him because he went to like Cedar Ridge, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I don't think Texas recruited him overly aggressively at all.
It's because he was small. But he's good. He's really good.
He's really good. He runs like Emmitt Smith did back when he was a Dallas Cowboy.
I feel like size doesn't matter at all as long as you got heart.
Size over heart. I mean, heart over height. That's what I meant to say. It's I want to pull up something before we discuss more. I call it the College Football Power 10. I put one of these up every week, and disregard the top 25s, the college football playoff poll. This is what I think I take into consideration. Point differential on the road, at home, who they played, kind of more balanced. And I want to I'll let you take a look at this. And this is the week 12 version that dropped today. Do you see that as, what you agree or disagree with the positioning of some of those teams?
I agree. I agree mostly. Yeah. I feel like Alabama should be Alabama's really good this year though.
Yeah.
So I feel like they'll be at first.
They Georgia, I think it's Georgia and everyone else. Because of the SEC, but Georgia and Alabama will play in the SEC title game at some point.
Yeah. We'll see.
I'm looking at the wild card that everybody's debating. Will Cincinnati have enough, being a group of 5 conference program? Will they have enough, even though they're undefeated, to take one of the 4 playoff spots?
I feel like they will, because they're looking really good this year. Don't they have a corner on the team that has that's really good, that has no catches on him?
The teams rarely throw on him to his side.
He hasn't had a catch his whole time being in college, right?
I'm trying to remember if that stats. If I need to go back and look at that, that's a good question. That is a good question.
They say he had no catches on him ever since he's been there.
Yeah, they're talented. It's just because they're a group of 5 team.
Yeah,
and they did beat Notre Dame. Of course, everyone is about college football on the Power 5. It's all about money.
Yeah,
and that's why they want Notre Dame to win out. But Cincinnati beat them head to head. And I think Oklahoma State. I mean, some people say this is probably overrated, but I feel like they are the 6th best team in the country right now.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't really know. I don't know what to say about that one.
And then the debut in the top 10, your Aunt Beverly's Baylor Bears at number 10 in the country.
She's over here smiling.
Oh, I bet she is. She needs to make an appearance on this. She needs to give her analysis of Baylor football.
BB, do you want to give your analysis of Baylor?
I'm good.
No, she said she's good.
She said some other time. I forgot to contact her agent. Her agent is very expensive, by the way. That's where we are. And I've got Texas A&M and Pitt making their own knocking on the door status. But you see the other team, UT San Antonio. Their head coach he's a legendary high school coach in East Texas, has a stadium named after him in Gilmer, Jeff Traylor. And he delivered this 2 episodes ago in tribute to our 100th episode.
Shout out to my guy.
Well, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. So we won't use that. But I want to show you this. Yesterday, Jay, I went down to San Antonio, finally got a chance to see UTSA in person. And they won they came back to beat Alabama Birmingham. This is what that final play, the game winner looked like.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
That pass got tipped?
It did.
That's so crazy.
So UTSA is on the lower portion of the group of 5, Conference USA. They'll host the Conference USA Championship. They're undefeated. They're not going to make the college football playoff, but I see them as one of the top 15 teams in the country. Have you had a chance to see them at all?
No.
All I could say is they pass the eyeball test. They just don't go away. They're one of those teams that great quarterback, great running back. They have guys who are all in, gritty, grimy, tough, heart, and they just find a way.
Yeah.
And are those the teams kind of like that you kind of that attract you to watching them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, teams that never give up.
That's what's so amazing about what's going on in San Antonio. So, and then me, I had to be biased, and because I am a Stephen F. Austin alumni, if you will, they did receive a bid to the 24-team FCS playoff, and this was the scene in Nacogdoches when the team learned that they did get an at-large bid. They weren't real sure. Here we go. So, do you keep up with lower Division I football at all, Jaylon?
Mm-hmm.
I guess you watch Sam Houston, I bet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have. Mm-hmm.
Have you been in touch with any of them in your recruiting process at all?
I think one of the coaches from Stephen F. Austin followed me on Twitter, but I haven't been in touch with them yet.
Yeah, see, that's the better program.
Mhm.
I'm just kidding. No, Sam Houston's #1 in the country, and so Stephen F. They did it where they will play Incarnate Word.
Mhm.
And I've heard Incarnate Word is you kind of been leaning toward you would love an invite to at least visit. Have you been in touch with them at all lately? Incarnate Word.
Some of their coaches follow me, but I haven't sent my film to them yet because I just got senior film like a couple of days ago. But I'm sending my film out to a whole bunch of colleges and sending my transcript. So
hopefully they see this, and on all social media, they won their conference, Stephen F. and Sam's former conference, the Southland, and they got a bid to the FCS playoffs. So Stephen F.'s going to play them, Incarnate Word, in San Antonio next Saturday, and the winner gets Sam Houston, and who's #1 in the country.
Sam Houston's #1, you said?
Yeah, and they're like defending national champions because they played in the spring and they went ahead and had the playoffs then too. So they played like 20 games already this calendar year. Freaking nuts.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So that's where we stand on that part, because I know it's kind of hard for you to talk about teams when you're in the recruiting process, and I don't, it's kind of hard to put you in that situation, but I know you can talk about these guys. All right, the Dallas Cowboys. Your dad and I were big, always big, and I remain a loyal Dallas Cowboy fan. They're playing Kansas City as we were recording this. What's your thoughts on the Cowboys, and are they a Super Bowl caliber team?
This year they're doing pretty good, but like the other years, I don't know. This year, I feel like they have a chance because like they've always had like a good team. They just haven't been able to finish.
Right.
Like, I see that they got what's his name? Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah.
That's his name. Yeah. He's making a lot of big plays. He's making interceptions like every week.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah, but I feel like they have a chance on going to the Super Bowl this year or like making it far in playoffs. We
must be related because we share the same opinion. They added an extra game to the regular season, so there's 17 games. It's tough for any team to stay healthy because at the pro, you know about that.
Yeah,
on a long season, it's tough to stay healthy. I'm with you. I think they're a Super Bowl caliber team. I'll say this: they'll at least make the NFC Championship.
Yeah,
and that's a far cry from where they've been the previous 10, 11, 12 years. They haven't been good since. I don't even think you were a thought the last time they went to the Super Bowl. I know for a fact it's been since '96.
96.
Yeah.
Dang. I haven't been around that long.
I know you weren't even a thought. You weren't planned yet. It's been that long.
Yeah.
Imagine being a Dallas Cowboy fan that long and having your heart ripped out of your throat
each time
for that long. Every year.
What game was that? When they played Green Bay?
Yeah. Oh, Daz caught it.
That was a catch. They reviewed it like a couple years ago, and they said it was actual catch. But
yeah. I just my blood pressure just spiked thinking about that play over and over.
Yeah.
I can still visualize it like it was yesterday. Hey, we've had a really good episode here, especially your story, and this is how we like to end it right here.
Hey, Ben, tell me something good.
The Tell Me Something Good segment, sponsored by Cosmic Coffee and Beer Garden. I have to take you out there sometime for a coffee, of course. Jaylon Reeves, tell me something good that you've experienced lately, or something about life lately, something going on in your world that has really just changed for the better for you, or maybe that you noticed in society, period.
I feel like I'm like attracting more people like to be like friends with and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I feel like I'm just like being an influence to more people. So that's good for me. And like being able to like people like when they come up to me and talk to me, they say I'm like easy to talk to, and that's like what I want to hear and like what I like to improve on and stuff.
That's amazing, and for you to say that, honestly, it's pretty powerful to me. Yeah. And I hope whoever's watching, considering everything that's going on this year, that's pretty powerful. That's why. Before I tell you something good as we close this episode 102 out, I know I've thought about this a lot because a lot of this fast-paced year we've gone through. Mm-hmm. Do you kind of see how everything that we experience now, there's a reason for all of it, but yet we don't understand it, nor will we probably never understand it?
We'll never understand it. It's God's plan. We can't do anything about it.
That's beautiful. I mean, have you starting to see things just piece together in your life now, and you start to see things happening now that are supposed to happen?
Everything happens for a reason. Everything does. Like God has a purpose for all of us.
I love it, man. And I can actually tell you, man, I love that you're in my life. I love that your entire family is in my life, and that I'm glad to help you on your platform because for you and Kyra, I really think you guys have, it's just my opinion, I think you guys have a tremendous opportunity to help a lot of people with what you guys have gone through and have experienced and seen firsthand. Because this world to me, and this is what I'll tell you something good that's going to be based off of, I'm talking about your platform. Everybody seems to think the world is all negative right now. If you were to jump on Twitter any given moment, you'd think it's nothing but negativity most of the time. But I'll tell you something good as we wrap this up. You just heard Jaylon talk about a multitude of subjects. He just opened up and showed the world to himself in episode 102, vulnerability. And I'm starting to see more of that amongst a lot of people who have been closed up because we were locked up for so long because of the lockdown. Yeah. And people are starting to talk. And I think people that see you, and this is my something good, people see your story and see this episode. I think it's just a small part of helping people get out, be more communicative, and love more and love this world, man, because high school football and college football are two great passions of mine and yours too. But that's a small part of what's great in this world right now. And I saw a lot of that in San Antonio yesterday. Just everybody's not all antsy about being around other people anymore. Yeah. Have you noticed that too?
Yeah, because everybody's been inside so long. They don't know how to act because they think, well, most people don't wear masks, and then there's people wearing masks, so it's like it's different. You know, like some people want to stay inside, they don't want to get sick, and they don't want to get somebody else sick, so they wear their mask. So it's just like weird for everybody.
It is. It's been tough. Any parting thoughts, if you will, about any way that to let people know how you're doing, your family, or any parting thoughts on how to inspire people, what you would like people to take away from this episode with you?
What I would like people to take away from this episode is just keep moving. Just keep taking it day by day. Just living the best life you can.
I love it, man. And I wish other Man Cave OGs, they were going to love to see this too. And I know everybody will. I know all of our group of friends and family they're going to flock to this episode, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And I think they're going to be touched quite a bit when they see this, Jay. I love you, little bro, and all your family. And to your Pflugerville Panther family, Coach Taylor, all your teammates, I appreciate everything you've done to wrap your arms around him and build the leader that you are, or help build, because a lot of that's just natural, God-given ability that you have. And regardless of how the season ended, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And for the Jaylon Reeves, his entire family, the OG Man Cave boys, that being Hardball Harge, Big Mike, and Coach Mo, we are out.
You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and a giddy up.